So we'll let Donna come up here and she will end our talk on this.
I'm completely wireless.
Welcome, Donna.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Let's see, can everyone see this?
Yes.
I taught 7th and 8th graders, so if I ask you to respond, I will appreciate anything that you say. First of all, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Lewisburg. It's my home club. If by chance you have a complaint that you would like to share with the district governor, be sure that next year you'll be speaking at the district conference on your complaint. My complaint was how to keep membership retention in a small club in an economically depressed town, Lewisburg. To give you a little background, Lewisburg was cut out of other counties. Marshall County was cut out of other counties. It was cut out of Williamson, Murray, and Rutherford. They gave Marshall County what they didn't want, and that became, they gave Marshall County what they didn't want. And it's rocky, it's very rocky. We have a heavy limestone base, which doesn't make it good for agriculture, but makes it very good for manufacturing. We have a lot of plants in town, a lot of heavy equipment. Like I said, it's great for the heavy equipment until you have an economic depression or recession. In 2006, in my small town of Lewisburg, our unemployment was 4.8%. It was at the time the lowest in the state. Then in 2007, the Saturn plant announced that it would close. We had feeder plants in our area. Our members belonged to the feeder plants that were closing. Actually, in 2001, we had a plant close. It was called International Comfort Products, ICP. 2,200 jobs, 900 were local, and that was sort of the beginning of the depressed town. By 2010, we were up to 20.3% unemployment. Now, how do you keep your membership viable and stable in your club when your town is experiencing 20.3% unemployment? So in researching this, I thought of 4 different areas. But after hearing everyone talk today, this applies to clubs whether you're depressed or not. Attendance, communication, membership development, and recruitment. In the last session, we had some ideas about attendance, and most importantly, keep good programs, because if you have good programs, it keeps your members interested in coming. In your attendance, be flexible. Your members won't always be able to attend. If they're looking for jobs, if they're in a job that no longer allows them a lunch hour where they can leave work, you've got to be flexible. And in being flexible, you have to come up with different ways to do makeups. I think it was probably about this time last year, I was complaining about that, and someone suggested to me that just wearing a Rotary shirt on a day that was not a Rotary day and saying something good about Rotary would be considered a Rotary makeup. Well, our club attendance has gone up because we can certainly wear a Rotary shirt and say something good about Rotary. Also, when you have problems with attendance, make sure that you're your newsletter goes out to those people who are not in attendance at your club. Make sure that they know what's going on in the club and that programs that they're interested in are still happening. Most important, though, I think, is that we need to stress networking. Because if your club is full of business people, then who else to find a mentor or someone to give you a lead on a job? Who else would be there for you except your club friends? So networking is probably one of the most important areas in an economically depressed small club. And has been mentioned in all three speakers before me, more fellowship. Make sure that your club is not just about fundraising and working, it's about having fun. Communication. You need to understand situations. In your club, you have members, and your members have situations. And the club needs to be sensitive of those situations. Offer mentoring. This I find important. Have a policy in place when you have someone who is struggling paying dues or paying lunches. And you need to already have that policy in place before this happens to you. It happened to us. We didn't have a policy in place. If you offer assistance, how long will you offer assistance? Will it be for a year? Will it be for 2 years? How long will you keep someone as a Rotarian who cannot financially keep up the obligation? I know that's not what we're all about, but you know, we have to have the income for the meals and dues. So in the last session, we said 6 months, that we would offer assistance for 6 months to someone who is financially struggling. Who would you include in this? Do you include the person who works hardest in the club? Do you include someone who is perfect attendance? Do you include someone who is a long-term member? Do you include someone who's only been a member a year and really hasn't gotten into the stride of being a club member? Last session, we decided you would include all. You just whoever needed assistance, that's who would get the assistance for 6 months. But one thing was important: before they are given financial assistance, they must be in good financial standing. You can't take on responsibility for something that happened before you were notified. Membership development. Keeping the members interested, be more social, work on your classifications. My club is mostly attorneys, doctors, accountants, people who can get off at noon for lunch. We need to work on our classifications because, well, fortunately, the doctors and the lawyers and the accountants were not devastated by closing of plants. But you need to keep your classifications staggered and have people in all classifications in case you do have a catastrophe in your town. Keep the members busy, assign them immediately to committees, get them immediately involved. This keeps people active in your club. Recruitment. Recruit, recruit, recruit. It's not anything you can ever stop. Rotary International has 1.2 million members. Every year it gets 1.2 million members. Every year it loses 1.2 million members. So the important thing is to keep recruiting. In your classifications, I said before, be diverse. Think about your recruitment. If you have small towns that are near to each other, consider area-wide recruitment. and most importantly, have fun. One way to encourage recruitment is to put recruitment papers on the table at lunch so that all of the members have access, can pick up one, can think about recruitment, can think about people to add to your club. Are there any questions?
You said for the fundraisers, you mentioned last session, it's a great place to recruit.
It is. Fundraisers are the best place to recruit new members. Mostly you're going to bring in your friends and family to help out, and that's a good place to start. Okay, any questions about a small club struggling? Remember, don't ever complain to the district government.
They might listen.
They'll listen, and then the next thing you know, you have to talk about it, and you have to research it.
We do have a lot of small clubs in Tennessee here that are facing the same dilemma.
I thought when I was complaining to you, I thought our club was unique.
Yes.
And then I found out our club is not unique. Thank you.
Any questions of the four speakers we've had? We've had four great speakers today. If not, we'll wrap up. One of the things we were talking about earlier that Donna kind of hinted on, I go to a lot of different Rotary events, a lot of different things, and I mentioned earlier that it surprises me that about 10% of the Rotary events I go to, meaning golf tournaments, fundraisers, pancake breakfast, stuff like that, do they have recruitment material? That's the best time to recruit members, is when you've got a fundraising or an event going on, because the people there are supporting your event, okay? So you need to have something there. You need to have a table, you need to have somebody talking about it, you need to have somebody that's excited about Rotary, and that's a good time to talk and try to get new members or people to come join your club, just as a visit or something, to sit there at the club. But it's amazing at how I think that opportunity is really missed by so many clubs, okay? The other thing I took from this, if you want to start a new club, hire Laurie.
Give her a stool.
She's wired, she's
Give her
on
a
fire.
spoon,
Yeah.
and, I asked the other gentleman that was here earlier, he had to have knee surgery, and I wasn't sure if it's because of wearing him out, or she broke his knees trying to force him in the club. But however, they did it, so I'm glad they did it up there.
If I could make a couple comments, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Jim, yeah, and that group, and certainly you as an assistant governor, and you were assigned that additional club when it was really down at the bottom.
That's right. I should have recognized him, because he's been a real glue and a real factor
I
in
know.
making that happen. So thank you, Jerome. I
You're welcome.
failed to do that.
It's been my pleasure.
Yeah, and Josh, I mean, he did a phenomenal job. His baptism of fire going into that district,
And
but
that's
you
something-
handled that so well, with very, very little input from me other than encouragement. So I really.
He got his reward.
He got his reward?
Yeah, he got his own club, so he gets to cover his own club now.
Yeah,
Oh.
I got Lexington now.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Added one to him?
Huh?
Added one to him? or
Well, he
just-
took
oh,
one
yeah.
away, took one away, he got his own club,
That's
so.
what made fall below.
And I think that is something
He can
important.
handle it, I'll guarantee you that.
Something important the presidents or president-elects need to think about is your assistant governors are there to help you. And, in all these cases, Donna's assistant governor, in all these cases, assistant governors were very involved in what happened with their clubs. It could just have easily gone the other way, and I think that's good on the presidents there at the time, and I think it's good on the assistant governors at the time, so. Anyway, great session. I want to say thank you to Laurie, Jim, Josh, and Donna, great speakers today, and I want to thank everybody for coming and attending this. I think the next wrap of business